Alright, we're going to try a water pump replacement. 6.1 Hemi, 2006 SRT8 Jeep. I've never done this before. So if you've never done this before, here you go. Start by obviously popping your hood. If you aren't that far already, just stop. Take it to a mechanic. First thing I'm going to do here is disconnect the intake, such, and remove this shroud. And I'll get back to you guys in a second. My intake might be a little different than yours. I've already ran a plug here and put the filter on the breather tube there and removed that tube. I also added an air oil catch can. But it's going to be pop the filter, undo the plug, undo this mount. I'm going to take the bracket off and repaint it. And then undo that there. Intake will come off. And then for the shrouds, there's a bolt there as you can see. Then on this side, there's a bolt in between here, down there. Easier to see from another angle, I'm sure. So yeah, we'll get to that. All right, intake off. Hard to see, but there's a bolt here and a bolt down there. Same with this side, bolt here and bolt down there. And then you're also going to have to unplug that fan clip there. So I'll get back to you when that's done. If your throttle body was dirty like mine, now's a good time to clean it. I'm going to finish wiping it off here and get that towel chunk off of there. But yeah, give your throttle body a clean if it's dirty. Note, use throttle body and air intake cleaner only. I mean, you could use brake clean because it's off, but I highly recommend this stuff. It's formulated for throttle body specifically with the sensor and shit. I decided to remove the coolant tube first to get it out of the way. So I can better access the bolts of the shroud. I just bent it over here and zip tied it off to the side. It's going to make it kind of a pain to get to the bolt below it, but it'll be easier to work on the shroud and everything. 2 catch cans with some towels. Shroud's off, and it's this big plug you gotta undo, not that one. Remove the hose. I forced my hose over and out of the way, but if you pull the hose off, it's just a lot easier. And now, it's time to remove the serpentine belt. Serpentine belt's off. Give it an inspection for cracks and such. Mine's wet because I soaked the front of it with brake clean to get all the coolant off from removing the hose. So ignore the moisture, but this belt's obviously brand new, or at least new enough. It's in great shape, so we'll be keeping that. No need to replace it. If your belt's cracked, replace it. Socket goes in there. Give her a little tug this way. You'll see that will move all the way over there. It'll loosen, then you can get it off. One step closer. All right, it's down to the water pump now. So here's the new one. You see it's got to be bottom hose, pulley, tensioner pulley. Thermostat. So I'm going to unbolt this while the water pump is still on here. And this. This did have a plastic cap on it. I used just a little pry bar to get it off. Flathead screwdriver will pop it off also. We need to swap those, and I figure I'll do it while the water pump's still on the block. Pulled the bottom hose, got it out of the way. It's my first American vehicle with a V8. They apparently put these metal spring-like things in here to prevent the hose from collapsing. I just zip tied it up off to the side. Now the water pump comes off. I did want to say that this is a Star. It's a Torx 47. That's what that is. While polishing my tensioner pulley, I dropped it and broke it. So we're replacing that with a brand new one. 18 bucks for the new one. Cheap. Might have to use some PB blaster to get it off, but it'll come off. I'm also taking the time to clean all the bolts before I put them back on, just because they obviously all haven't been cleaned ever. Already done all those. So yeah. Alright, well, new water pump's on. Super easy. I wasn't sure of the bolts again because it was my first time, so as I pulled them out of the old one, I stuck them in the new one in the same spot, but they're either long or they're short, and they won't go in if they're the wrong ones. Keep the tensioner loose so you can access this bolt here and that bolt down there. And then they're 20 foot-pounds or 28 Newton meters to torque them down. Alright, careful putting that screw back in right there. You see those metal shavings there? Yeah. I snapped this one off. Luckily, I was just able to drill it out, and then I have a reverse thread bit that just sucked it right out for me. So yeah, careful. That one only goes on with like, I think, 10 foot-pounds. I kind of skipped a couple steps here. Water pump is on. Put the serpentine belt back on. I'll include a picture of how that belt's supposed to go on. And then I put the shroud back on, and then I put the coolant hose back on. And I kind of cheated. I held the coolant hose up and filled coolant in it until I ran out. Yeah, went smooth. Things went well. Pretty easy, really. So I'll get back to you during startup. All right, put the intake back on, reconnected that sensor down there that I took off. It is time to start it and bleed the system. And your bleeder is right here. I'm gonna put some more coolant in it, and then I'll close it and bleed it from there, and you should be good to go. Check for leaks, done deal. Try that again. Make sure it gets up to temp. As soon as I undid the bleeder screw, fluid came out, so. I have a 180 thermostat also, so my thermostat opens sooner than most. Yep. And then, obviously make sure that's full. And then you want to make sure that you check underneath for leaks, which there are none. There's some residual moisture down here from the coolant and me spraying it off with brake clean, but no leaks. Good to go. Done deal.